Am I the only Canadian that something doesn't smell right, that after a decade of Justin Trudeau's disastrous policies, too numerous to list, he's a liar, most scandal-ridden prime minister in our country, policies absolutely disastrous, 8 million immigrants in the country in under a decade, attacks on our free speech, attacks on the Charter of Rights and Freedoms unlike anything we've ever seen, the WE scandal, the SNC-Lavalin scandal, more insider dealing than you could ever imagine. A senior official after senior official coming out and saying Trudeau did not follow proper protocols, his authoritarian takeover during COVID, the way he called people racists, bigots, fascists if they didn't agree with his worldview. I have a hard time believing, did over 4 in 10 Canadians look at those past 10 years and say, we need more of that? Because the more that I think to myself about it, the more that something smells wrong about Carney's election. Under 300,000 people voted in the liberal leadership race, and the only candidate who's willing to be critical of Carney whatsoever, Ruby Dalla, was, well, to be honest, she was kicked out of the race. She wasn't allowed to continue. In a country of 41 million, under 300,000 voted him in. But then I can't wrap my head around how he got 42 point whatever percent of the vote in the general election. Because now that he's actually governing Canada, it's never been clearer. Mark Carney is not here to look out for the best interests of the Canadian people. Mark Carney is here to represent Brookfield Asset Management. Whether it be the fact that they're allowing another 1 million immigrants into the country in the year 2025, this despite the fact that 75% of the country won't get as overwhelming a consensus anywhere, so we can't deal with any more immigrants. This despite the fact that there is no issue that is impacting Canadian society in so many different ways than immigration, whether it be the job market, the housing market, our healthcare system. None of them can withstand it. And the reason he's doing it is because Brookfield Asset Management, where he worked for the past decade, holds over $37 billion worth of real estate in Canada, and he needs to keep pumping those numbers up. Their real estate valuations have already nearly doubled since Trudeau was elected in 2015, and he just needs to keep seeing those numbers go up. How do you do that? You flood the zone with supply, demand goes up. There's no argument that he's doing it for the betterment of the Canadian people. He may well be doing it to import voters, but it's clear he's not continuing to allow 1 million immigrants into the year to better the Canadian people. And better yet, he made the announcement that you will not be able to any longer track those numbers. I kid you not, you will no longer be able to track those numbers. He announced, he talked a big game about all these big policy initiatives that he was going to roll out once he was elected prime minister. He's been incredibly slow to roll any of them out, except for this one where he says they're going to spend $25 billion on prefab housing. Well, guess what? Brookfield just bought out Modular, a company that does wow. Who would have thought it? Prefab housing. $25 billion. Again, pumping his own wallet up. He still has a lot of investments in Brookfield. Pumping the wallets up of his buddies at Brookfield. It's really sick. He's the prime minister of Brookfield Asset Management, not the prime minister of Canada. He is attacking our free speech. They know how unpopular immigration is at the Liberal Party. So what's their response? Their response isn't the normal human response. Say, okay, we're going to listen to people. The people who elected me do not want more immigration. No. They passed things like Bill C-63, which say that if you criticize the government on immigration, you can wind up with a lengthy prison sentence for so-called hate speech. And if they even think that you are going to criticize them on immigration, you can wind up under house arrest and with an ankle bracelet. That doesn't sound much like a democracy to me. He says he's going to recognize Palestinian statehood, which is led by a terrorist organization, led by Hamas. This despite the fact that overwhelmingly Canadians do not want this. It's because he has to appease the yahoos, the far left-wing yahoos. He was just out the other day and he said Muslim values are Canadian values. You think Mark Carney is saying that for any other reason than to cater to the base that he's imported into this country over the past decade? Are you freaking kidding me? There's no way. There's example after example after example. He hasn't even set up a home office. There's no way you can reach Mark Carney right now. He hasn't set up an office here in Canada, and he's the prime minister of the country. The way he looks down his nose, you can just tell the global elitist looks down his nose at the Canadian people. The way that he signs on carte blanche to the Century Initiative that says we need 100 million people in Canada in the next year. The way he time after time after time attacks our Charter and Rights and Freedoms based on what group you are. If you're a pro-Palestinian group marching in our streets, you have carte blanche to do whatever the heck you want. if you speak up against that, you trust me, you're going to be dealt with very harshly. Canada is quickly becoming a two-tiered police state. Our Canadian values, freedom of expression, freedom of religion. He never talks about these values anymore. He's a corporate wokeist, which is probably the worst combination of two things that you could have. And Canadians, we need to wake the hell up sooner rather than later, or else this country is going to be gone for good. He is an authoritarian in every sense of the word. Mark Carney, the liberal. They believe that if you don't fall in line with their woke ideology, you need to be shut down. And that is the exact opposite of what a free and open society is. A free and open society says, I defend your right to the death to say whatever you want, no matter how much I may disagree with it. Except there's, of course, a few exception cases on the extreme end. But we need to rally. We need to get out and make our voices heard, patriotic Canadians. I've already put requests in to have rallies in Ottawa on Saturday, September 13th, Saturday, September 27th. If you're interested in attending, please let me know, because we need to actually physically get out in the streets. If you're interested in supporting me, I put a lot of work into getting this message out. Please hit the link in the bio. Donate, grab some beer, subscribe to my Substack. I'm going to keep getting the message out every single day as much as I can, because I love this country. My ancestors did not die in the World War for a bunch of crooks to stomp all over our charter rights and freedoms like Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney have. And I know there's a heck of a lot more of us than there are them, but we actually have to physically hit the streets and make our voices heard and take this once great country back.